Good morning, everyone. Please rise as you are able and remain standing. The Deputy Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Honourable Barry Petten. The Honourable Joan Aylward, Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador and Chancellor of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, and the Honourable Carl Thompson. Please be seated. Honourable and distinguished guests, my name is Karen Stone, Clerk of the Executive Council and Secretary to Cabinet, and Chair of the Advisory Council of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador. I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's ceremony. On behalf of their honours and the Deputy Premier, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this investiture ceremony to recognize the recipients of the 18th investiture of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador. The ceremony will commence with an address by Her Honour, the Honourable Joan Aylward, Lieutenant Governor of Newfoundland and Labrador and Chancellor of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador.
Oh, sorry. Good morning. I would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging the province of Newfoundland and Labrador as the ancestral homelands of many diverse populations of Indigenous peoples who have contributed to 9,000 years of history, including the Beothuk and the island of Newfoundland. Today, this province is home to diverse populations of Indigenous and other people. We also acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Mi'kmaq, Inuit, and Innu. Land acknowledgements show respect to the First Peoples of our country, and it is our responsibility not only to show this respect, but also to encourage Newfoundlanders and Labradorians to learn about the full history of this land. These are acts of reconciliation, and we all have a role to play. Good morning, bienvenue, and welcome to Government House for this very special event. Government House is a place of much history and of celebration, and it is for celebration that we gather today as we honor 8 remarkable and deserving individuals. As Chancellor of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, it is truly an honor for me to undertake this investiture today and to recognize a group of outstanding Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. The process of deciding who is appointed to the Order is made by a separate advisory council who is charged with the very difficult responsibility of identifying 8 individuals nominated by the public. With today's appointments, a total of 159 people will have been recognized within our province's highest honor. You have achieved much, you have inspired others, and you have made a difference. Newfoundland and Labrador is a better place today because of you and because of your contributions. The insignia you will soon wear is a proud one. Legislation to create the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador was introduced in the House of Assembly and passed unanimously on May 24, 2001. In that relatively short period of time, only 25 years since it was created, it represents a rich history, a most distinct honor. And today, I see that Joan MacDonald is joining us. She was one of the first recipients of the Order of Newfoundland back in 1984. Welcome. The arms of Newfoundland and Labrador were first granted in 1638 by King Charles I. The insignia forms the shape of a stylized picture plant, first established as our floral emblem in 1954. The petals are fashioned from beautiful labradorite with its majestic and iridescent shades. The white represents the snow and ice, as if you need any reminder today. The blue represents the ocean and all that it gives, and the green is evocative of the province's land and forests. Gold has long been associated with achievement and excellence, symbolizing the richness of the people and of our province. The crown at the top of the medal symbolizes honor and merit. It recalls Newfoundland and Labrador's place as a province of Canada, a constitutional monarchy as part of Canada. This year's recipients of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador have made remarkable achievements in many different areas. They include an extraordinary volunteer and community champion who spent 25 years of her life to initiatives that have supported the people of Western Newfoundland in the areas of, I understand the first one was the 4-H Club, but more recently in the areas of healthcare, housing, veterans, and remembrance, bilingualism, the arts, sports, and many other areas. I don't know if there's any left. One who has been recognized for a lifelong commitment to service, who leads by example and has left an indelible mark on our social and cultural fabric. A husband and wife team, partners in life, and with a devotion to scholarship, genealogy, and the cultural uniqueness of our province, both nurturing and sharing the iconic relationships many of us have had with our Irish heritage. So very important, allowing us to have a deeper understanding of our culture and our connections, as well as how to best collect, preserve, digitize this valuable information for global use. This couple reflects a deep and profound love of Newfoundland and Labrador and its heritage. A leader with passionate respect and care for the province's built heritage and architectural traditions, fostered by centuries of attachment to a rich cultural and physical landscape. A poignant example of his work is the creation of a structure called the Rooms. The Rooms that is the pride of the province and an icon for the country. We proudly show this magnificent structure and all that it holds to visitors and Newfoundlanders and Labradorians alike. A retired soldier with a 33-year history in the military, who has proudly dedicated himself in service to the military. He has helped champion our collective responsibility to remembrance, to the rich history of our fallen, and to the stories of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians who have given their all for peace. A long-time and devoted advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities who've worked to identify, remove, and prevent barriers in our society and to promote equity and inclusion. The collective strength that we grow and benefit from when our world is shown such a commitment to disability justice is powerful, and it leaves an impact in the landscape of inclusion in our province in such meaningful ways for those with disabilities especially. Another recipient, a dedicated volunteer with a very interesting nickname, Muggs, who has spearheaded achievements in the communities which embrace adaptive sports, and for being an advocate for inclusion provincially, nationally, and internationally. These achievements have changed the lives, the hopes, and the dreams of so many in meaningful and real ways because you've made the impossible possible. We can only imagine what that actually means in real time for those persons. And a committed volunteer from Labrador with over half a century of dedication and leadership to the people of Labrador. You have shaped and inspired generations of youth and adults in sports, active living, and inclusion, all the while raising a family. But what I loved most, perhaps, is how you broke that occasional glass ceiling when you became the first woman to umpire a national men's championship in the province in 1987. That had to be interesting. A proud moment for women, clearly. All of you today emulate values such as integrity, self-reliance, honesty, empathy, generosity, resilience, and respect. These values are at the heart of what the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador represents. To your friends and family, thank you for coming today and being a part of a ceremony that recognizes these incredible individuals, and also for your part in their achievements. As we've had the opportunity to learn more about your life path, we are more aware of your contributions. And I ask you for a moment, all of us, to consider the lives that you have impacted. Consider the history and the culture that you have provided to so many families and the connections you have allowed them to have in this place that we call home. Consider the children you have watched, mentored, and shaped through your own leadership. And consider what they have learned about the importance of losing as well as winning. Consider the pride and joy you have instilled in us as we celebrate our own history and culture in that beautiful place we call the rooms. Consider the honor and dignity that you have provided for families through the identification of those who have served in conflicts for us in faraway places, laying them to rest in our minds and in our hearts. Remembering them is so important. And imagine the complete amazement and joy that a child, now an athlete, felt when for the first time they were not looking on from the sidelines, but because of you, they were actively participating in and enjoying the exhilaration of a first run down a ski hill. Imagine that. You have made the impossible possible for those left on the sidelines. You have advocated and championed your cause, but it was your cause for others because their barriers became your life challenges. You have made great strides, and I can also see that there's no stopping your generosity, your volunteerism, and your empathetic approach to everything you do. In these geopolitical times, you embolden us with hope and a strong belief in what is good and so necessary. Please know that you are valued and that you are so appreciated. Congratulations, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Honor. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Elaine Kirkland Huckster. Elaine Kirkland Huckster of Steadybrook has devoted more than 25 years to volunteer service, enriching communities across Corner Brook, the Bay of Islands, and Newfoundland's west coast. Her contributions span healthcare, housing, education, arts, and culture, reflecting a lifelong commitment to service. A proud veteran and member of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 13, Miss Hugster is well known as the bagpiper for Remembrance Day ceremonies and other community events. She is a presenter for Quilts of Valor Canada and served as a board member on the Western Newfoundland Federal Retirees Board. Her dedication to health and social well-being includes volunteering at the Cancer Unit of Western Memorial Regional Hospital, serving as a counselor for the town of Steadybrook, and supporting seniors housing through Parkview Apartments. She has also championed education as a provincial board member for Canadian Parents for French, and through years of involvement with school councils. Ms. Hugster's leadership within First United Church has been exceptional, having served twice as board president, chaired annual meetings, and continuing as treasurer and regional delegate. She also served on the board of West Haven United Church Camp and attended camp as an adult volunteer. Her passion for arts and culture is evident through her work with the Rotary Music Festival, Theatre Newfoundland and Labrador, Off-Broadway Players, Long Range Quilt Guild, and Writers at Woody Point. She's also held executive roles with the Rotary Club of Corner Brook and the Rotary Arts Center. Her deep connection to Marble Mountain is another defining aspect of Miss Hugster's life. A dedicated longtime volunteer, she served as president and in various other roles with the Marble Mountain Ski and Ride Club, and she spent more than 20 years sharing her expertise as a ski instructor. Ms. Hugster leads by example and is highly respected for her reliability and generosity, often taking on day-to-day tasks and offering her time, energy, and resources to strengthen community life. Her enduring service has left an indelible mark on the social and cultural fabric of Newfoundland and Labrador. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Elaine Kirkland Hugster. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Dr. John Mannion. Dr. John Mannion has devoted more than 5 decades to documenting and interpreting the Irish experience in Newfoundland and Labrador, making an unparalleled contribution to the province's cultural heritage and historical scholarship. As a leading historical geographer and professor at Memorial University, Dr. Mannion's research has illuminated the pattern of Irish immigration and settlement in Newfoundland from the 17th to 19th centuries. His work has provided a comprehensive understanding of the social, economic, and cultural lives of Irish immigrants and their descendants, shaping academic discourse and public knowledge alike. Together with his wife and research collaborator, Maura Mannion, Dr. Mannion co-created the Mannion Collection, an extraordinary archive of original records documenting Irish immigration to Newfoundland. This collection, now digitized and globally accessible, comprises more than 150,000 images and thousands of meticulously indexed documents, offering an invaluable resource for genealogical, historical, and cultural research. It has become a cornerstone for scholars and communities seeking to understand the province's Irish heritage. Dr. Mannion's scholarship extends beyond research. Through decades of teaching and mentorship at Memorial University, he inspired generations of students and engaged them in projects that contributed to the development of this landmark collection. His work has strengthened cultural ties between Newfoundland and Labrador and Ireland and has been recognized internationally for its significance. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Dr. John Mannion. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Maura Mannion. Maura Mannion has made extraordinary contributions to preserving and promoting the cultural heritage of Newfoundland and Labrador through her lifelong dedication to documenting the Irish experience in this province. Together with her husband, Dr. John Mannion, Ms. Mannion co-created and co-curated the Mannion Collection, an unparalleled genealogical and historic record of Irish immigrants to Newfoundland from the 17th to 19th centuries. Compiled over decades and now digitalized, this collection provides invaluable insights into the social, cultural, and economic lives of thousands of Irish families and their descendants. It has become a globally recognized resource for scholars, genealogists, and communities, ensuring that the stories of these immigrants will endure for generations. Ms. Mannion's role in this monumental project was indispensable. She carried out extensive archival research, organized and indexed original records, and fielded inquiries from scholars and the public worldwide. Her work has deepened understanding of the connections between Ireland and Newfoundland and Labrador, and has informed studies in history, genealogy, and even medical research. Beyond her scholarly contributions, Ms. Mannion has been an active volunteer for decades, serving with organizations such as Oxfam, Amnesty International, and the O'Brien Farm Foundation. Her commitment to community service and cultural preservation reflects a profound love for Newfoundland and Labrador and its heritage. Through her vision, perseverance, and generosity, Ms. Mannion has ensured that the legacy of the Irish in this province remains a vibrant and accessible part of our shared history. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Maura Mannion. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Philip Pratt. Philip Pratt's architectural legacy has profoundly shaped Newfoundland and Labrador's built environment, blending innovation with tradition to create spaces that reflect the province's history, culture, and natural beauty. Over a career spanning nearly 5 decades, his work has elevated the architectural identity of the province and ensured that its heritage remains vibrant and relevant. Mr. Pratt's designs are rooted in respect for place. His projects integrate contemporary vision with historical and environmental context, revitalizing spaces while preserving their cultural resonance. Among his many achievements, the Rooms stands as a defining symbol of his philosophy. Celebrating its 20th anniversary, this landmark cultural complex houses the Provincial Museum, Art Gallery, and Archives. Inspired by traditional fishing rooms and outport architecture, the Rooms bridges past and future, serving as a space for connection, creativity, and storytelling. Beyond this iconic project, Mr. Pratt's portfolio includes heritage restorations, adaptive reuse initiatives, and innovative public and private spaces. His work on the Newman Building in St. John's, the Swires Building premises in Bonavista, and the Manuel's River Interpretation Center exemplify his commitment to sustainability and cultural continuity. His leadership in heritage planning, such as the St. John's Heritage Conservation Area Study, has guided preservation efforts across the province. An alumnus of Memorial University and the University of British Columbia, Mr. Pratt is a Fellow of the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada and the Royal Canadian Academy of Arts. His contributions have earned national recognition and reflect a lifelong dedication to architecture as both a discipline and a cultural practice. Through his vision and artistry, Mr. Pratt has left an indelible mark on Newfoundland and Labrador's physical and cultural landscapes, ensuring that its architectural heritage endures for generations to come. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Philip Pratt. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Major Retired Michael James Pretty, CD. Major Retired Michael James Pretty of Portugal Cove, St. Philip's, has dedicated his life to service. First, through a distinguished 33-year military career, and later through his tireless efforts to preserve and honor Newfoundland and Labrador's military history. Enlisting in the Canadian Forces in 1981, Major Pretty served in the regular forces until 2007 and continued with the Royal Newfoundland Regiment Reserve until 2013. His leadership and commitment helped ensure the freedoms enjoyed by Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, Canadians, and people around the world. In 2004, Major Pretty was tasked with the responsibility of coordinating the pilgrimage of the entire regiment to visit the battlefields of France and Flanders for the 90th anniversary of Beaumont Hamel in 2006, the first time the entire regiment had returned since the First World War. In a call home from the Cariboo on the eve of July 1st, 2006, his father, Sergeant Arthur Pretty, the Royal Canadian Regiment and the Airborne Regiment, asked him, "What are you going to do to remember all the other Newfoundlanders who served?" Major Pretty made a promise and began his commitment to remember and preserve the stories of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians from all conflicts who served, fought, and at times paid the supreme sacrifice. Following his retirement, Major Pretty founded the Trail of the Cariboo Research Group, whose mission statement is to raise awareness of the accomplishments and sacrifices of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians in military conflicts and peacekeeping missions. In a group effort with more than 200 members, Major Pretty leads with the statement that every story is important and has been tracking those men and women from Newfoundland and Labrador who served in all branches of the military, Army, Navy, and Air Force, whether in the military of Newfoundland and Labrador or any other country, ours served with, including the Merchant Marine, Medical Services, Naval Reserve, and the Forestry units. The group has identified more than 13,000 individuals from Newfoundland and Labrador who served during the First World War alone, correcting historical records and ensuring proper recognition for all those who served. Over the past 20 years, Major Pretty has visited cemeteries in 19 countries across 4 continents, placing beach rocks from home, reciting the Act of Remembrance, and playing the Ode to Newfoundland at grave sites of ours. His work has also included replacing damaged headstones, adding commemorative plaques, and educating generations of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians about their proud military heritage. Major Pretty's unwavering dedication ensures that the contributions and sacrifices of Newfoundland and Labrador service members will be remembered for generations. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Major Retired Michael James Pretty, seated. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Mary M. Reed. For more than 40 years, Mary Reed has been a devoted advocate for advancing the rights of persons with disabilities in Newfoundland and Labrador. Working at community, municipal, provincial, and federal levels, she has shaped policies, legislation, and programs to reflect the inherent rights of people to have equitable access. Ms. Reed began her work in 1982 in a leadership role with Civic Number 4, a transitional residence for people with physical disabilities. It was here that she championed independence and individual choice and guided the organization through its transformation into an independent living resource center. Ms. Reed's early work was one of creating partnerships with other organizations, individuals, and government offices. This approach carried on throughout her career. Ms. Reed was also active on the national scene, contributing to the work of organizations which promoted the disability rights and independent living movements. Ms. Reed took a leadership role within the City of Ottawa as their first accessibility officer to assist in their preparations for provincial accessibility legislation. She then returned to the province to join the public service as the first director of a new disability policy office. Ms. Reed brought her leadership and advocacy work into this role as she and her office worked across government departments to improve services, communications, decision-making processes, policies, and legislation. Her work focused on changing the environment so people with disabilities had equitable access. Ms. Reed led the province's first inclusion strategy and 3-year action plan, both designed to identify, remove, and prevent barriers experienced by people with disabilities. Throughout her career, Ms. Reed worked collaboratively with disability organizations and governments to identify and remove barriers that are physical, systemic, and attitudinal. She served as Vice Chairperson of Accessibility Standards Canada, a federal government corporation established to develop accessibility standards. Once again, this was an inaugural role where she brought leadership and advocacy into the establishment of a new initiative. More recently, Ms. Reid, with Joanne MacDonald, co-led the History of Disability Rights Project. Through this initiative, the stories, experiences, and milestones of disabilities' rights within the province are preserved. Future organizations, policy and decision makers, researchers, academics, and the public can access video oral histories and documents that record the experiences, decisions, and ups and downs of a continuing quest to secure the rights of persons with disabilities. Ms. Reid's unwavering commitment to disability justice and her emphasis on the importance of placing lived experience at the center of policy development, legislation, and services has left a significant positive impact on the landscape of inclusion in Newfoundland and Labrador. Her work and advocacy has contributed to a growing culture of equity, accessibility, and inclusion. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Mary M. Reid. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Margaret Thibault. Margaret Thibault has devoted more than 4 decades to advancing inclusion in sports for persons with disabilities in Newfoundland and Labrador. Her vision and leadership have transformed the province's sporting community, ensuring that individuals of all abilities have opportunities to participate and compete. Ms. Thibault began her volunteer work in the late 1970s and quickly became a driving force for adaptive sport. She served as the Newfoundland and Labrador representative for the Canadian Association for Disabled Skiing for 37 years, holding positions on its board and executive. As manager of the Canadian Para-Nordic Ski Team for 15 years, she supported athletes at Paralympic Games, World Championships, and national competitions, and played a key role in Paris ski demonstration events at the Calgary 1988 Olympic Winter Games. She became a certified instructor in both alpine and cross-country para-Nordic skiing and co-wrote an instruction manual for para-Nordic skiing. In 1998 to 2000, she was a member of the committee that facilitated the move of para-Nordic skiing from the Canadian Association for Disabled Skiing to Cross Country Canada, the national sport governing body for cross-country skiing. Her contributions exceed far beyond skiing. Ms. Thibault introduced the first ice sledges and bocce to the province, enabling provincial athletes to compete nationally and internationally, and helped 2 young athletes represent Canada at the World Dwarf Games. She has worked tirelessly to grow para-swimming and collaborated with provincial sport organizations to make the Newfoundland and Labrador Games inclusive. As a founding member of Rainbow Riders, Therapeutic Riding NL, and as president and founding member of Parasport NL, Ms. Thibault has championed accessibility and inclusion across multiple disciplines, including para-hockey, sailing, athletics, and rowing. She has supported the development of wheelchair basketball. She has coached a number of sports and is a national-level classifier and referee for Bocce Canada. She currently sits on the board of the Canadian Therapeutic Riding Association as first vice president and is the liaison with Horses in Education and Therapy International. Ms. Thibault was also a founding member of the Tumble Home Recreational Canoe Club and an instructor with training in adapted techniques under the Canadian Recreational Canoe Association. Over the years, grant writing, fundraising, and equipment modification have been part of the journey. Through her unwavering commitment, Ms. Thibault has created lasting change, building a sporting community that celebrates diversity and empowers individuals with disabilities to achieve their full potential. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Margaret Thibault. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Mary Winters. Mary Winters has devoted more than 5 decades to volunteerism in sport and community life in Happy Valley Goose Bay, leaving an indelible mark on Labrador's cultural and athletic landscape. Her leadership, dedication, and trailblazing spirit have inspired generations of athletes and volunteers. Ms. Winters began volunteering in the late 1960s as a minor softball coach, often walking to the field with her children in a stroller. She coached for nearly 2 decades and served as assistant coach for the silver medal-winning women's fast-pitch team from Labrador at the 1984 Newfoundland and Labrador Summer Games. When her coaching career ended, Ms. Winters broke barriers as an umpire in a male-dominated sport, becoming the first female umpire at the National Men's Slow Pitch Championships in 1987 in Marystown. Her contributions extended beyond the diamond. Ms. Winters played a pivotal role in the Labrador Winter Games for over 40 years, co-founding the daily newspaper, the Northern Star, sitting on the results committee, and later chairing the VIP Hostess Committee. She was the team coordinator for the Happy Valley Goose Bay team in 1989 that won the Premier's Cup as the first place team overall at the Games. She served as a board member for the Games in recent years, bringing invaluable historical knowledge to the event, and she continues to volunteer with the Games. Ms. Winters also held executive roles with the Lake Melville Minor Hockey Association and was active in fundraising efforts that supported youth participation in provincial tournaments. Ms. Winters was an accomplished athlete, a fast runner in high school where she won numerous first-place ribbons. She competed in the first Newfoundland and Labrador Winter Games in 1974. She also played broomball and fast-pitch softball from the 1960s to the mid-1970s, winning all sorts of awards until, unfortunately, a double knee surgery ended her sporting endeavors. Ms. Winters has been instrumental in organizing many sporting events, such as softball and hockey tournaments in the Happy Valley Goose Bay area. She is currently planning the 75th anniversary celebrations of organized softball in Happy Valley Goose Bay for the summer of 2026. A proud beneficiary of the Labrador Inuit Land Claims Agreement, Ms. Winters has been a role model for Indigenous female athletes and a champion for inclusion in sport. Her commitment to community service has earned her numerous accolades, including recognition as a Labradorian of Distinction and the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay's Community Builder Award. Through her tireless efforts, Ms. Winters has strengthened the fabric of her community and created opportunities that will benefit Labradorians for many years to come. To receive the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador, Mary Winters. The ceremony will conclude with an address by the Honourable Deputy Premier Barry Petten.
Well, thank you for that, Clerk, Karen. Before I began, what an extreme privilege, to sit here watching each individual get those awards. And I always say this over my years in politics, whenever I get a chance, it's about making a difference. And I've always believed that's how we'll be judged from down life's road. We can do a lot of things, and don't matter what you got in your bank account or whatever it's how people view what you've done in your life and what you've done for our province. So each one of you should be very proud of what you've done, and I want to sincerely congratulate each and every one of you on your accomplishments. Thank you very much. Good morning. It is a privilege to join you here at this year's Order of Newfoundland and Labrador Investiture Ceremony, where we recognize 8 remarkable people whose work has strengthened our province and the communities we call home. The Order of Newfoundland and Labrador is the highest honor we award. It celebrates dedication, service, generosity, and define the spirit of our province. Since the first ceremony, the Order has recognized over 150 individuals who have shaped lives, supported communities, and helped move Newfoundland and Labrador forward. Today's recipients come from different backgrounds, experiences, and fields of work. What connects them is a deep commitment to others. Their contributions reflect values we hold across Newfoundland and Labrador: helping neighbors, sharing knowledge, protecting what matters, and giving back without expecting anything in return. Your efforts remind us of the strength of our communities, whether it's the Northeast Avalon, the Northern Peninsula, or Labrador, many of the places where people look out for one another. Your work reflects who we are and what we want our province to be. For that, the community thanks you, your province thanks you, and I thank you. Your stories span culture, volunteerism, history, sports, and humanitarian work. Each of you has made a meaningful difference, and it's my honor to recognize you here today. Elaine, your lifelong commitment to volunteerism has supported countless community programs and families. Through your consistent leadership and hands-on involvement, you have helped people during challenging times and strengthened organizations that serve them. Your work reflects the heart of a community service in Newfoundland and Labrador. Dr. Mannion, through decades of work in cultural research and scholarship, you have deepened our understanding of who we are as a people. Your dedication in documenting and preserving cultural history has helped ensure Newfoundland and Labrador stories, tradition, and identity are recognized, respected, and shared for generations to come. Maura, your cultural leadership and commitment to celebrating the traditions of this province have helped keep important parts of our heritage alive. Your efforts to promote and preserve culture have enriched communities across Newfoundland and Labrador and inspired others to take pride in the stories that shape us. Major Pretty, your commitment to preserving history has ensured that important chapters of Newfoundland and Labrador story will not be forgotten. Through your research, documentation, community involvement, you have honored the legacy of those who came before us and strengthen our collective understanding of the past. Philip, your architectural vision has helped shape how Newfoundland and Labrador sees itself. Through landmark designs that reflect our history, culture, and sense of place, you have contributed to some of the most significant public spaces in our province. Your commitment to heritage through thoughtful design and community-engaged planning has left a lasting mark on our cultural landscape and continues to inspire those of us who work in the built environment. Mary Reid, your work with persons with disabilities and our government's first Disability Policy Office, as well as your humanitarian work, has improved the lives of individuals and families throughout the province. With compassion and determination, you have advocated for others and supported essential programs that help people in vulnerable situations. Your dedication reflects the very best of public service and care for community. Margaret, your leadership and involvement in sports, recreation, and fitness have helped people of all ages stay active, confident, and connected. You have encouraged participation, supported athletes, and contributed to the well-being of your community through decades of service. Mary Winters, your commitment to sports and recreation has strengthened programs that support young people, families, and seniors. Through your volunteer work and dedication and building inclusive, accessible opportunities, you have helped make your community healthier and more vibrant. Together, the eight of you join a distinguished group of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians who have been invested into the Order since its creation. You each represent the best of who we are, and we are grateful that you call this province home. On behalf of all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, thank you for your service, your leadership, and your example. Your contributions have made this province stronger. Your achievements will continue to inspire others. Congratulations to each and every one of you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Premier. Following the ceremony, their honours and the Deputy Premier invite recipients and guests to a reception in the drawing room. But first, we ask guests to remain in their seats until their honours, the Deputy Premier, and recipients depart for the official photo. You may then proceed to the reception area. Please rise as you are able for the singing of the Ode to Newfoundland and the Ode to Labrador, which will be led by aide-de-camp Kathy Jackman, and then remain standing if you are able for the departure of their honours, the Deputy Premier, and the newest members of the Order of Newfoundland and Labrador.
When sun rays crown thy pine-clad hills, and sun